is going to, I think, have to take his cue from the market, and we'll talk about it. But I personally think that there's two areas to watch in 10s. You want to watch around 240, and you want to watch around 2 3/4. Now, in terms of QE, I think the latter would definitely probably cause more QE. But if the market really wants to forge ahead, he's going to have to be along for the ride, because the market at some point is going to be bigger than the Fed.
Well, I don't know.
That would be my read.
I am so, Rick, I got to tell you, I think that those who are not paying attention to this bond market move are missing this major reallocation, as Bob said. But also, Rick, we could have a big decline in bonds, and it still wouldn't be competitive against the yields of stocks. You had that equities chart. You had all those different points you had earlier on today.
No, I think Ben should be happy. If he thinks that he's given a signal that there's potentially less QE and stocks are still up here, even with this rate rise, maybe the primer's actually getting the well to go. We don't know yet. But I'll tell you what, I have a great guest today, Johnny Seguin. All right, he's from Seeger Macrograph. And all the questions you've just asked, Johnny can answer. Real quickly, explain your charts, Johnny.
All right, the colors here tell me where we were. There's a color code here. So back in April at the end, and then at the end of QE2, you can see how the market moved away from this. This shows me where all the volume was.
So wait, let's simplify. This is all of QE2,
right?
And the most prices traded, the highest volume price during QE2
right. That was a 340 yield.
Okay, let's move now into the current zone.
Okay, so
show where we're at now.
So since we moved, since after the QE, we've been coiling, as Rick's been mentioning, for about 2-3 months here, right around 2%. We've just left it this week, and I'm figuring the pent-up energy that you have here is probably going to get us worth about at least a month's range, which gets us about 250, somewhere in here. Today, we're right about there, which is, what, 236, right. I think there is potential that we can get up somewhere around 280, 290 overall over the next quarter.
So the further to the right is high volume prices.
This is where all the volume
to the left is low volume. And what tends to happen, John, and you could explain this further, is when you have very little volume, you go back and fill it in. And when you move away from very long volume, it's like a big dance floor. You get stability at this level to launch from.
Right. Exactly. And you will go in to fill in these old low volume zones that we left behind.
And what I find fascinating is, in a way, we've all tried to quantify the effects of all the QE. Well, the high volume prices for QE2 were around 3.5, okay? And the stability level post was around 2%. And in a sort of way, you could argue that all of this has given us 150 basis points to try to quantify as we start to move up. What would be a failure? In other words, if this doesn't last, the QE phase is needed, equities move back down, rates move back down. Where would that failure be?
I think if we got below this high volume zone right here,
which is
it's about 220.
Okay, so if we get back below 220 in about a week, I think maybe the higher rates are over. Johnny thinks 2.5 big level and 2 3/4 big level. Whew, back to you.